Hey, this is Dr. Bond with you again. I just want to go over quickly what we're going to give you in this free report. When you put your email in, you're going to get the webinar on presenting an effective report of findings. Have you ever just took a look at your practice, really thought about it? Do you feel like maybe you're on a never-ending loop? You process a new patient, they come in, you spend time with them, they come back in, you go over their report, and it's just like your office has a revolving door. They're gone within a week or sometimes even less than that. And just getting tired of patients who don't accept your recommended care plans. You tell them what you want them to do and they just don't follow through. Well, would you like to learn how to easily and ethically grow your practice, to build the practice that you want, put an end to that revolving door, have patients that start to stay? To build the practice, you really need to just make some changes in your report of findings. It's almost always the report of findings. Creating, printing, and presenting an interesting and effective case-closing report of findings is probably the most important thing you can learn in a short period of time that will quickly fill your practice with patients who are going to stay, pay, and refer more patients into your practice. Here's the bottom line, Doc. Why print a report? Well, if we just look at people who do print a report, a printed take-home report of findings, let's say that your practice generates 20 new patients a month. All right, if you generate 20 new patients a month and you don't give your people a report of findings to take home, printed take-home report of findings, then more than 50% statistically are going to be gone in 30 days. 50% of the people that you've worked so hard to get into your office, they're gone in 30 days. Now, if you give them a report of findings, you have a printed report of findings, we're going to go over that in just a second, then your practice is going to retain 85 to 90% of the new patients that you present to, people who are actually qualified to be new patients. When I say that, let me just say that I mean people who you should be treating. Probably 2 out of every 10 people that show up in your office are going to have things that may have to be referred other places. But 85 to 90% of the new patients who really need chiropractic care are going to stay, and you're going to gain in-house referrals. So you're going to actually see more than those 20 new patients from the people who are going to share their report. It's really that powerful. Now, here's the situation most chiropractic practices are in. The median annual salary for chiropractors is now $66,160. That was May 2 years ago at the time I'm recording this. It's probably less than that now because of the insurance changes we're seeing. So that means the average chiropractor earns around $31.81 an hour. Pretty sad for the amount of invested education. Fewer people that come into our practices have insurance benefits, or they have crazy deductibles. The copays and the deductibles have gone up. Some of my patients now have $45, $50 copays and deductibles that are like $12,000 under Obamacare. So nothing is going to change, positive or negative, in your life or your practice until you decide to take action and make some changes. That's something I say. That's not a quote from anybody else. If you want to see changes, then you got to make changes. And the easiest way is with a printed report of findings that shows posture, range of motion, x-rays, affected nerves on a nerve chart, peripheral and autonomic nerve chart, and has a printed financial and printed care plan. If you do that, you're going to see higher patient visit averages. You're going to see more families, more patients, and you're going to see increased practice revenue. All right, here's what it's all about, PVA. The problem is that the average doctor of chiropractic has a PVA of about 15. I've seen doctors as low as 5 that call in. They only see people 5 times and they're gone. The patient visit average really should be about 30 or more if you're trying to get any kind of lasting result. Now, the solution to get people to stay for those 30 or more visits is to present a better report of findings. If the patient doesn't understand what they have and how you're going to help them and what they need to do, they're not staying. If you do a better report of findings, your practice demand for new patients will go down dramatically because you'll be keeping more people in the practice of their own free choosing. So instead of 10 new patients each week to keep your practice going, you only need 5. You may even need less if your PVA is higher. Big difference in your workload and your staff time requirements if you're now processing 10 new patients every 2 weeks instead of every week. So what you need to start doing is think outside the box. The stuff they're telling you to do, all this crazy marketing and standing and doing screenings, and it doesn't work. You need to just start focusing on the patient. Think outside the box. All right, here's what the free Report of Findings webinar is all about. I want to give you this free 1-hour webinar showing you how to improve your Report of Findings. It's going to take you less than an hour to go through it. Just for trying SpineTech Pro for 10 days. All you have to do is download SpineTech Pro and give it a try. There's no obligation, and I'm going to give you this free report. It's not fluff, it's just nuts and bolts what you need to know. All right? So here's the Report of Findings components that are included in SpineTech. First of all, the X-ray analysis. It works with digital packs, CD-ROM. People can bring their X-rays in. You don't have to have X-ray to use it. Matter of fact, you don't even have to use the X-ray component if you don't want to. It does plain film, it does dynamic motion X-ray, and it has the analysis pennings and the flexion extension and angular analysis for personal injury. For those of you who want to do cervical or lumbar personal injury ligament laxity studies, it's in there. It also has digital range of motion. You can show patients their lost function due to tight muscles, tight joints, restricted joints, or ligaments. The other thing is posture. Digital posture quickly demonstrate the biomechanical abnormalities, and it also is a great way of tracking and showing improvement with treatment. All right, so you get all that. The next steps, here's what you need to do. Pretty simple. Step number 1, click on the link to register and get a free 10-day trial of SpineTech Pro. You don't have to enter a credit card. You just going to download it. It works for 10 days. You can try it. There's no restrictions. There's no watermarks. You can use it with your patients. Step 2, then you'll watch the Report of Findings webinar and start growing your practice now. Doc, thank you so much for watching, taking the time out of your day to watch this and register. Spend an hour or two using the software. What are you waiting for? Get over there and click it now. Click the box. You have nothing to lose and everything to gain.